Hey boys and girls. Today we are going to be talking about asking questions within the text in a nonfiction book. So you might think this chart looks a lot like one of the others, but I'm going to compare it. So that's kind of why I'm way over here. Here's my within the text one for fiction. So let's look at how some of the questions are a little different, okay? So for nonfiction, which is a teaching book, remember, the first question says, what did you learn about blank? So the book we're going to read here in a little bit is about frogs. So the question would be, what did you learn about frogs? Well, in a fiction or a storybook, the question says, what was the story about? Do you see how it's different? This one's what did you learn? This one is kind of like, tell me what the story was about. Okay, it's different. Here, within the text in nonfiction, what were some of the important facts that you learned about frogs? In this one, it says, what was the problem in the story? Okay, or maybe what was the solution in the story? Because those are parts of the story, right? We could also ask who the characters are in the story, what the setting is. But in nonfiction, we're going to say, what were the facts that you learned that were important? Okay? Here they're asking, what did you learn from the text features? Remember, text features are photographs or charts or diagrams or text boxes or maps. And we'll look in this book and see if they have any. But here, they're talking about they might be talking about how did the pictures help you understand the story or something like that, or what do the characters like to do? So, there are different types of questions when you have fiction or when you have a nonfiction book. So, this week, we are going to be asking and answering questions from nonfiction books. So, we're going to go through those again. So we're going to start with within the text. Remember, it's in the book, but this time it's a teaching book or a nonfiction. Tomorrow we'll do beyond the text, where you have to think and use what's in the book. We'll also do that on nonfiction or a teaching book. And then the next day, we will do questions that are about the text. Remember, and that's like if the author wrote it, so you have to think like a writer. And so we'll do that in another day. Okay? All about nonfiction this week. And nonfiction books are teaching books. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and read this book, and then we are going to talk about some of these questions in here. What did we learn about the book? What was important to you? Things like that. All right? So here we go. Mrs. Kimmel will probably help us with a few. Oh, my thing's being wobbly. Let's see, is that better? That's better. Here we go. Jump. This frog wants to go for a swim. It bends its long legs. Then it jumps. The frog jumps to get in the water. The penguins want to get onto the ice. They swim very fast. Then they jump. The penguins jump to get out of the water. Oh my goodness, I just noticed something right away. This book is not about frogs. I thought this book was all about frogs, but is it? No, the second page is already not about frogs. This book is about jumping. Look, because that's the only thing that's the same on both pages. The first page, they talk about frogs jumping. And on the next page, they talk about penguins jumping. So that's the topic. The topic isn't frogs. The topic is jumping. That's tricky. This kangaroo is in a hurry. It doesn't walk. It doesn't run. It jumps. The kangaroo jumps to go fast. This spider is hungry. It sees the fly land on the plant. Then the spider jumps. It jumps to catch its dinner. Are you noticing a pattern? Each page they're telling me about an animal and why it jumps. Look. This fish jumps to catch its dinner too. It swims very fast under the water. Then it jumps. It catches a bug in its mouth. Yum! This grasshopper bends its long legs and jumps. It jumps to get away from a hungry bird. I don't even see the bird, do you? No. It doesn't want to be the bird's dinner. This dog is happy to see his friends. The dog runs and jumps. He wants to say hello. These kids are happy too. They jump and jump and jump. Well, look at that. Okay, so think for a little bit. What did we learn about jumping? This wasn't about frogs, so let's think, because you're going to answer this question. What did you learn about jumping? I'm noticing it even kind of tells me how the animals jump and why they jump. Okay? Now, we don't have a lot of text features in here. No big pictures or anything like that. But, so we can't answer that question. What did we learn from the text features? So I just want to know what you learned about jumping. We can't answer this one. So let's say, what did you learn? Let's have you maybe list a few things you learned about jumping from reading this book. Okay? And that's all you're going to have to do, because those answers come right from the book. If you can't think of anything, rewind the video and go back and listen to me reading it, okay? List some things you learned about jumping.